Not gonna lie, yeah, I'm at the top. I don't even wanna be involved with you the way I am because I want it all quicker, and I ain't stopping till.
In the interest of fairness, we're going to take in Odyssey Jones' ex-girlfriend side of the story. She talked to Post Wrestling, and I want to pause right here for a second just to tell something that I always have to say. When you get access to families, to quote-unquote victims, there's always going to be something you have to sacrifice. And one of those things is sometimes you just don't ask important questions. And this is where commentators like me come in, because I, ask these important questions. There are questions that occur when you read through her story. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's he said, she said, and we were not there. But there's a lot of evidence that seems to lean towards his version of events. But there is quite some evidence on her side too. So let's get into this. A police report was filed May 23rd, received with the Maitland Police Department. It says the ex-partner alleged battery, which allegedly occurred on May 17th. May 17th is Odyssey Jones' birthday. I looked. Okay. So she filed a police report a week after his birthday, alleging that she was attacked by him. According to that report, she told officers that Palmer, quote, became extremely angry after discovering text messages she had sent to another man. She alleged that he threw items, grabbed her, and slammed her to the floor twice. Photos of bruises on her shoulders and both legs, which she claimed were caused by Palmer, were documented by the police as part of the report. Palmer denied the allegations. The police report he stated that he became upset and threw some objects around the apartment, but denied throwing objects at her. He said neither of them became physical during the incident. Now, this is before they went on the trip. Spoilers. This is before they went on the trip to the Caribbean, where she went on social media claiming that he beat her up while they were on a cruise ship, which is where they went on vacation for his birthday, which was May 17th, right? So a week after his birthday, she goes to the police and decides to present pictures of an alleged battery. Now, she had 6 days to come up with some bruises. Not to say that she did that, just saying it took a week, right? So she told Brandon Thurston he got upset over me texting someone and started throwing me around along with some household items and my personal belongings. The police officer says, I respectfully request the charges be filed on Palmer for battery, 1 count. So the police officer says, yeah, go ahead and arrest him. You need to arrest this guy for battery. We got some pictures. This is evidence. Whatever. The Orange County State Attorney's Office says that the case is still under review with no decision yet on whether to formally press charges. This happened in May of 2024. It is January. If he was violent, he could have chopped her up with a battle axe by now. This is what we mean by the government is completely ineffective when it comes to protecting people. If this woman was in real danger, she'd be dead. She'd be dead. She supposedly got attacked in May. It is January, and he had not been arrested. Charges had not been filed. Interesting. The girlfriend also alleged that additional incidents of abuse occurred during the cruise trip the two went on shortly after the May 17th altercation. Said despite the alleged incident at Palmer's apartment, the trip went on as planned. Very interesting. The girlfriend alleged that he threatened to break her phones before leaving and insisted that she wasn't going anywhere because the trip was already planned out. Now, phones, plural. She got 2 phones. So either she's OJ the Juice Man, she's selling dope, or never mind. Let's just move on. Palmer's ex-girlfriend told the Post, I told him I saw where this was going, and I was going to leave because things were not going too good on the cruise. It was repeated behavior, so I saw it coming. He told me to sit my ass down and calm down, that we were leaving the following morning for the trip. Pause right here. This girl does not live in Florida. This girl lives in New York, which she's going to discuss later. She should have took her ass home. She should have went home. I just don't see the reason why she decided to go on a trip with this guy if he's that violent, right? She alleged abuse continued on the trip and that Palmer caused her to have a concussion, destroyed her cabin, or destroyed their cabin, and threw one of her phones into the sea. So yeah, she has more than one phone. So this girl is a drug dealer. She has more than one phone. He chucked one of her phones into the ocean. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but it's ridiculous. Now, this is not funny. She claims that Palmer, quote, bashed me against the walls in the cabin a few times because I was leaving the room. I had bruises all over my body. When it comes to the restraining order that he got on her, she claimed that she was not violent, and she denied any claims of violence or harassment or threats, and that believes that Palmer was granted the protective order partly because she lacked legal representation in Florida because she doesn't live in the state. Okay? She says Omari twisted the story to benefit him and told his lawyer a bunch of lies, which clearly were not backed up by evidence, and said that Omari was manipulating the situation. Let's pause right here because there is evidence of her harassing him, and it's all over Twitter, where she created a Twitter account telling WWE and fans that Odyssey Jones had abused her. That's evidence of harassment and slander and defamation. Now, you may say to yourself, Mongo, why would she say there is no evidence of that when there is? Well, because she's baby facing herself. And you may say, well, Mongo, doesn't Brandon Thurston know about this account? Well, he should. If he did his job well, I know, and I'm an idiot, right? And I know about the account. I knew about the account before he got fired. And the account still exists as of recording. It's still there. Some tweets have been deleted, but it's still there. All right. She admitted that she called WWE and ultimately got him terminated. She expressed gratitude towards WWE for taking her allegations seriously. Then she says, quote, he begged me to forgive him every time. It's like two people live in one body. No one knows what happens behind closed doors. He put me through so much mental anguish. He would have these violent outbursts and increasingly erratic frustration periods and take them all out on me. She says, I am no longer scared to speak up after he instilled fear in me for so long. I used to feel bad for Omari and hoped he would change his erratic behavior and abusive ways towards me. He portrays himself to be someone else to the public, to his fans, to his parents. No one knows a lot of things I have been quieted and endured. I wanted to protect him and love him, but it reached a point where enough is enough. I understand that. Also, in the post-wrestling article is an actual pretty good point that they decided to make. And that is, they did not find the police report that Odyssey Jones claims that he filed on this girl. So, when he filed his petition to get the restraining order, it included a claim that he alleged stalking against this girl with Maitland Police Department. So he claimed there was a police report in Maitland that she was stalking him. Post Wrestling looked into this, contacted the police department, and no such record of a report exists. So, he likely lied about that in order to get the restraining order. Now, another thing about the restraining order, let us discuss, is that Post Wrestling says the court granted the protective order which was recently extended through January 2028, without making a determination of fault in the underlying allegations. Okay, they don't need to, though. See, I looked up how you get a restraining order in Florida, because I'm just a nerd like that, right? And this is how you get a restraining order. So you have to file a petition with the Florida County Court. When I'm reading this from the Florida Bar, it says, once a petition has been filed, it is presented to a judge to consider whether an ex parte temporary injunction valid for 15 days should be granted. Florida law only requires the court to review the four corners of the petition to determine whether there appears to be an immediate and present danger of violence. The standard for issuance of temporary injunctions. No police reports, photographs of injuries, or other supporting evidence needs to be presented. So he was able to lie, according to Post Wrestling, about the police report because he did not have to present a police report. But he had to get the judge to agree that he was in imminent and present danger of violence. And he managed to get a judge to agree with him. And not only did this thing get extended once, apparently it got extended multiple times, and now it's extended for 3 years. So he's protected until 2028. So it wasn't quite, there was no evidence. Apparently, whatever story he drummed up, if he drummed up a bunch of lies, it was pretty good. Because he was the one with the restraining order on her. Now, obviously these issues are going to be messy. It's going to be cut and dry. She claimed he beat her up multiple times. She claims he beat her up. He claims she beat him up. And yet they still went on cruises together. It's ridiculous, right? Absolutely ridiculous. These are young people. You know, he's 30. On the nose, 30. And been dealing with this broad since 2017, man. 7, almost 8 years of this insanity. Almost 8 years of this insanity. He's been dealing with this girl since he was in his early 20s. I don't understand it. I don't get it. There seems to be more evidence on his side, if we're being honest. But they both seem to be lying. They both might be exaggerating what happened. And that's likely the case because once these things start going to the government, there's going to be all kinds of exaggerations. It's just unfortunate, you know, because again, this guy's life has been ruined. He has not seen the inside of a courtroom. He has not been arrested for anything. Despite the fact that there apparently is a police report, despite the fact that the police officer suggests charges be filed, charges have not been filed. And it's been 8 months. I mean, it's been a long time, you know? And they still have not arrested him for allegedly beating her up back in May. So either the state attorney wasn't taking it that seriously, and there's more to it. Take it or leave it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you folks later.
No one does it better.